Is it even worth owning a suit if it fits me poorly?
No.
All right, guys. Hey, welcome back. This is Style Tips for the Everyday Guy. I'm Eric, and I'm here with our lead stylist from Cladwell, Allison.
Hi.
And today we're talking about how a suit should fit. Really important topic.
Mm-hmm.
And the first question I have for you, we were talking about this and kind of blew me away, was we know that a suit should fit, and it should fit the right way, but how important is it actually that it fits properly?
It's very important. I would go as far as to say that a poorly fitting suit is the worst item that a man could wear, and a good fitting suit is the best item he could wear.
Wow. So that when you told me that, it blew me away. It's a huge spectrum that you could go from kind of the worst look you could possibly wear as a man of an ill, properly fitting suit to the best look you can wear. So it's really important we nail this down. We talked about how to do that a little bit, tailoring options, things like that. And I think that's a whole separate video we're going to get into because we realize there's a lot of options to do that. But let's just, in this video, we're going to get right into and show you guys how a suit should actually look and fit on your body. So let's just start with a jacket, and start at the top. So walk me through the shoulders, the back, the neck. What should it look like?
Well, starting across the shoulders, the biggest thing overall for the entire suit is that it should be fairly snug, which I think makes people a little bit nervous, but it should be fairly snug, but you don't want it too tight to the point where it's pulling anywhere.
Okay.
So when it's across the shoulders, the thing to look for, especially over your shoulders right here, you don't want it too large to where it's extending past your shoulder.
Right.
So you want it to fit smoothly and flat over the curve of your shoulder. A good way to tell that is if you are raising the arm of the blazer, or of the suit jacket rather, if there's a deep crease across your arm, then it's probably too tight. As well as across the back, you don't want any pull lines in the middle back between your shoulder blades. Again, that means it's too tight within the shoulders. And then at the top of the jacket, around the back, you want it to lay smoothly against your shirt. So if you have a gap between the collar of the suit jacket and the collar of the shirt, then that's no good and it's probably too tight on you. Okay,
so formally fit is really important, but not too restricting where you don't feel like you can move your arms, your shoulders, that kind of thing.
Right. A good fitting suit should give you full mobility, but because of that, to have full mobility, it should be fairly form-fitting to your body.
Okay, great. We were talking about Fred Astaire. Like if you picture him dancing in a suit, his suits were perfectly custom made, but he had a full range of motion.
Yes, absolutely.
You might not be a Fred Astaire kind of dancer, but you can think of, maybe picture him in a suit and what that's like. All right, let's move down. So what about the chest? How should the chest fit well?
Again, should fit very flat and smoothly across when you have it buttoned closed. Some people will reference the X to avoid the X, which is the pull lines you might see.
Okay.
If you see pull lines across your chest, then it's too tight.
It's too tight. Okay. All right, great. Let's move to the arms and then into the sleeves as well.
Sure. Let's see. The arms, again, you want it fairly form-fitting, but you also want to have room. Most jackets are going to be layered over a dress shirt, perhaps a dress shirt and a blazer, or I'm sorry, and a sweater. So you want to have room for that where it's comfortable, but not so it's baggy.
Okay.
And the length of the sleeve should hit about at the wrist or just above the wrist, because you want to have this little bit of your shirt to be able to peek out from underneath your blazer. That's a good visual to have. About a ½ inch to an inch of your shirt should be out.
So the sleeves are shorter than your shirt sleeves coming out. Absolutely. Okay. And then what about the length of the jacket? How far down your torso should it land, or where's the target area?
Should be about, I kind of say maybe like 4 to 5 inches below the belt.
Okay.
It kind of varies depending on your height.
Right.
A good thing to think is that you kind of want it from the back, you want it to cover your seat for the most part.
Okay.
So that's a good visual to have. You don't want it long so that it's extending below like the bottom of the crotch of your pants. That's too long. Yeah. A rule that some people follow is kind of if you put your arms at your side and curve your fingers upward. If it's kind of hard to explain, but if it should be like the jacket should hit just about where your fingers are curling up towards.
Okay, that's good. So you don't want too long, too short. If there's a middle ground you want to aim for there. Okay, that's great. We got the jacket. Let's move on to the pants. What should we be thinking about for fit for suit pants?
As well as for dress pants, you kind of want a slightly snug around the hips and a straight leg down to the floor. But again, not too tight. You don't want any pulling lines across the front. it just looks awkward, then you're gonna look like your pants are too tight, which they are.
Yeah. Don't want that. Nobody wants that.
Nobody wants that. So, but a nice straight fit down throughout the leg. And for the back, again, you want it to lay smooth and flat over your seat. Not too tight where it's hugging every curve, but not too big where it's sagging, because that just looks sloppy.
Right. Yeah. And now the length of the pant, where should it land?
Just about at the top of your shoe.
Okay.
Some people are slightly uncomfortable with that. It feels too short to them. But when you sit, your pants should raise, and it should be up off the floor. There should be a gap between your shoe and the bottom of your pant when you're sitting. So it should just very smoothly. Most dress pants, the nicest visual is no break in the pant whatsoever. If you have a small break, that is okay. If you're not familiar, a break is kind of the crease that you get in the pant when it's laying over the top of your shoe.
Yes.
So a slight break is okay, but if you have a really deep break, it's just kind of distracting. It makes you look like you're swimming in your pants.
Right. We don't want the extra bunching down there or anything. And so lastly, with the pants, what about cuffs or pleats, and where does that sit today in terms of trendiness?
Sure. Cuffs and pleats, I would say, are just outdated at this point. The problem with those are it's very difficult to flatter a man. It takes a very specific type of body type to flatter cuffs or pleats, so I just say avoid them altogether. Cuffs make almost everybody look shorter, and pleats make them look wider in the hips, and you don't want that. So
great. All right, guys, we hope this helped. If it did, give us a thumbs up. Obviously, if you were buying a suit, this is a major investment for your wardrobe.
Right.
So if you're going to do it right.
Yes.
Right. And if you're going to get the suit, you're going to make the investment in the suit or multiple suits. Find a tailor, make sure they're pre-measured, however you want to do that, so that it's fitting the right way and you're looking your best in the suit. So thanks so much, Alison, for joining us today. Thank you guys for watching. Be sure to go to cladwell.com to get your personal roadmap to dress better, and we'll see you next time.